Okay, use the following information to complete the proof. Segment AB is congruent to segment KL, angle B is congruent to angle L, and angle C is congruent to angle M. The distance of BC is equal to 6.1 units. The distance of LM is equal to 6.1 units. The measure of angle A is equal to 73.1 degrees, and the measure of angle K is equal to 73.1 degrees. Segment AC is a translation of segment KM. Prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle KLM. So again, congruence, congruent triangles means that triangles in which corresponding angles and sides are congruent. So we have two corresponding sides that are given, BC and LM. So we had that AB was congruent to KL, that was given right there. We had that BC had a distance of 6.1 and LM has a distance of 6.1, and we had that this angle A is 73.1 degrees and angle K is 73.1 degrees. We also were given that, so I'm going to highlight actually what's incongruent, because if we can prove that they're all congruent, then we can use the definition of, then we can have that. So KL to AB was given congruent, angle B was given congruent to angle L, and I'm going to put one tick mark there, and angle C was given congruency to angle M. So it's not going to be a far step to prove that side length LM and side length BC are congruent, because that's the definition of congruence. So that's where you notice statement 4 had the distance of BC equals the distance of LM, because they listed out that they were the same units. They used transitive property, so then they could state that those distances were equal. Now, since they stated that they were equal, they could say that they're congruent. So now segment AC is a translation of segment KM, that's given. So, the distance of AC is equal to the distance of KM. So I'm going to look at the options. Given reflection, no, because it said that it was a translation right here. So it wasn't a reflection, it was a translation. So I would be looking for a translation as an isometry, and isometries preserve distances. That lines up because it stated that there was a translation, and then this statement says that their distances are equal to each other. So that's how I'm going to pick out A. So again, remember in math, when you're talking about distances, it does not have the line across the top. So then if we go to statement B, it has a blank in the reason after it stated that both triangles are congruent to each other. And I'm going to scan, and we had definition of congruent angles, definition of congruent segments, and again remembering that congruent triangles are corresponding angles and sides are congruent. So I would say it would be definition of congruence. And that's how I would answer this proof. So again, I would write this proof down and just make notes on, like, if you didn't remember that no line above the two letters meant that that's talking about its distance, so, or the length of it, and then break it down that it was proving that each side was congruent or had the same distance and length to its corresponding sides, and that's what they had to do with all of the angles too.